Step 7. Determine which exit type is best for you. Here are the proven ways of exiting a business with a profit. In the last video, we talked very briefly about them, but let's get into some of the details. First, we'll talk about recapitalization. You see, many savvy business owners never realize that their business can actually become their own personal bank. Especially if your business is a high cash generating company, you may be able to borrow against the business and use the future cash flow to pay down the debt. So in the interim, you'll have a legally extracted way to take some of the value, the equity value you created, and replace it with debt. Now, you may even choose to continue to run the business. This is really similar to a home equity loan. You own a home and you start paying down a mortgage. There's a difference between what the building's worth and what you owe in the building, but at the same time, there could be some market appreciation that would increase the value of the building. So taking a home equity loan by taking the difference between what it's worth and what you owe on the mortgage. This is the same way recapitalization works for your business. It's just another way to take out some of the value in your business now while it's making money, borrowing that equity by extracting it from the business, and then let the company begin to pay down that debt over time with its own cash flow. This means that your equity is no longer trapped in that business and you get to enjoy some of the value that you sweated and labored for during all these years. You can pass the business on to a family member. Though some sources state that 70% of family-owned businesses don't survive the second generation, the Rockefellers and the Waltons have proven otherwise, and there are many smaller businesses that prove otherwise. To make this work, though, you must first prepare and build the business in a way that you can pass the ownership automatically over to your immediate family members. And so this is where your team comes into play. You need to consult your advisors on how to do this properly and legally, but it certainly can be done, and it's an option that you should consider. You can sell the business to a partner. Many people have started businesses with one or two or three partners, and maybe something changed in someone's life and they'll want to sell their share to the other partners. So think about selling to your partners if you have any in the business. Sell the business to a trusted employee or a group of employees. Current employees or managers know the business and the customers usually know them. They're the most likely people to be able to preserve what's important to you as the seller. For a single employee, the seller may have to finance part of the acquisition, but for an employee group, there are things like an employee stock ownership plan. And so consult your team for the details, but this may be one of the most advantageous ways to go while the seller is still running the business if he chooses. You can hire or employ a replacement CEO or COO. This is usually done with a recapitalization so that the owner is free to pursue other interests without being encumbered with the day-to-day operation. Now, what's real key here is that we're talking about these individual ways to exit the business, but savvy people, savvy entrepreneurs know that you can combine multiple ways. Just like I mentioned, hire another CEO to run the company, go through recapitalization so you combine these two exit strategies, you get the money, someone else runs the company, and you still even have ownership of the company at the same time, while getting the money out and being able to retire even earlier than you're planned for. So what a great way to go. Think about combining some of these exit strategies to meet your own personal financial needs. Merge with another company. This is where the term mergers and acquisitions comes from. So rather than selling your business outright, there always exists possibility of a really lucrative merger with another company. They may have to be in the same business. They may be in just a similar industry as you. But if you use this horizontal approach with even a supplier or a customer in a vertical approach, there is an exchange of shares of the businesses in this regard. And what that means is that you'll be basically relieving yourself of the day-to-day operations and obligations and responsibilities of the company. And the shares you're taking in the new entire entity can be used as collateral for borrowing against the value of your business. And then so that's how you're extracting cash out of this deal. Again, consult your team, but there are many ways to exit the business at a high value and accomplish your own personal exit strategy goals. You could sell the business to a competitor. Selling to a competitor may seem like an agonizing approach, but when you're ready to put your business on the market, people in the same industry are the most likely buyers, and your competitors are included. Done right, these may be the best buyers for your business. take the company public. Now, this is an alternative to an outright sale. It provides resources for growing the business while at the same time you as the owner are able to take some of the money off the table. It leads to loss of privacy in activities of the business, but you're doing this for money, and the money involved in this transaction could make it well worth that loss. You're probably aware of companies that were started and then the owners decided to take them public, like Facebook, Microsoft, Berkshire Hathaway. The benefit to exiting in this way is that you take a lot of money off the table while at the same time you get the benefits of the sheer growth of the business, because as the value and of the business increases, the stock price of the company also increases. And so you'll enjoy the benefits of liquidity through a public market, and you'll have the opportunity to be able to sell your interests much more quickly. You, of course, can sell to a qualified buyer. Having a fully qualified buyer, either one who is new to the business or one who had employment or managerial experience in another company, and they seek ownership of their own entity. This is essentially a great form of exit. And a good mergers and acquisitions or a business broker can be invaluable in this effort. So consulting your team, but knowing that selling to any qualified buyer would work as well too. This is a typical, normal way things are done, but be open to all the alternatives. You can sell to a financial buyer. This can be an outright sale or sell a portion of the business firm to a venture capitalist. The key issue here may be their requirement to stay on for a particular period of time. So you can also sell part of the company over time while you continue to work there and run it, and they eventually get more comfortable with you and the company's performance, and they eventually buy you out 100%. Sell the company assets, especially if your company's been overextending itself and running with losses. Restructuring into a smaller, much more profitable entity by selling off the unnecessary assets may be the best alternative to cash out, and it may be another alternative to an outright sale. You can sell the business to a trusted friend or an ally. Just like a family member, if you have a trusted friend that has verifiable skills and abilities to carry on the business and has a financial capacity to meet your minimum cash requirements, it may be another viable option to also help them finance the deal. You can go bankrupt or reorganize the company. In some cases, it might actually make more sense to go bankrupt and take the loss on your investment and then reorganize and restructure the business than try to sell the reorganized, restructured business. Be careful, of course, if you have unionized employees, and you definitely want to consult your team on this one. This one's a little more complex, but it certainly could be another method to exit the business if it's doing poorly too. Now, knowing I had all these options, I might have sold my last company even sooner. For instance, since my business was profitable and we had a great relationship with many financial institutions, I could have recapitalized the company and cashed out with a nice amount, which would have given me instant cash windfall. Then, since I had some family members in management positions, I could have easily promoted one of them to CEO. So this would have given me a trusted and proven new CEO in place. I could have then given my new CEO the option to buy the company from me as an earnout using cash from the business to pay me. So this would have given me a quick cash windfall through recapitalization of the business. I'd have gotten long-term turnout, which would have given me financial security from my retirement. And this would have also given my family and possibly employees an opportunity to buy the company from me. So win for everyone in this case. All this is still more risky than an all-cash offer, but by using existing employees and grooming them properly to take over the business, I certainly could have mitigated much of that risk by using multiple methods to complete the exit. And this is, again, where your team comes into play. Using multiple strategies to reduce the risk, increase the profits you're going to get from it, knowing that a cash sale is only one of many, many possibilities that may still meet all your financial and personal goals to exit your business at the 8-figure level.